What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Havoc Sports Podcast. We got a little bit of a fun episode today. We're going to be talking about coaches, and not just our team's coaches that we can't stand, but coaches that are on the hot seat or verge of being fired.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. There's not a very competitive league this year, and I feel like it starts with the coaching position and managing the clock. So it's kind of going to be a longer episode just because all the coaches are very bad this year. I feel like there's a lot of improvement to be made in the coaching industry. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. Note before we do this that we are trying to exclude coaches that came on during the year as substitute coaches. If the coach was fired previously and an interim coach is in, we're probably avoiding that team to talk about because the interim coach is most likely not going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, we're really just talking about like the Bears and Saints and Jets. They all fired their coach, and none of their interim coaches are working out. So most likely they're not going to get rehired.
Yeah.
So let's take a look. We'd like to take a look at teams that kind of have a bad record that has still the same head coach that probably is going to move on.
Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, let's start with pick one. New England.
Yeah.
This guy sucks.
He's so bad.
First year, you say give him a chance. I've said it a couple times. I'll probably give him a couple years. Nah, this guy sucks. He has no idea what the heck is going on.
You got your own players coming at the fans because all the fans are booing your coach.
He sucks. How do you have Drake May, who has shown that he can be an all-time talent? Now, I get the team is pretty lackluster, but this is bad. This is worse than Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of the last time a coach had a very bad rookie season, and the last time I can honestly compare Gerard Mayo to like Urban Meyer on the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you remember that?
Yeah.
Like when they drafted Trevor Lawrence and they were just terrible.
I just feel like he's not the guy. Like he just looks like he's like a cool dude.
I can see him.
Dude you want to hang out with at like a sports game, not coach a football team.
I can see him be like a defensive coordinator, but when it comes to like being a leader among men, coaching aspect, I feel like just the locker room wise, it's hard to follow a guy that kind of just acts like a player. You know what I mean? Like you have to kind of have some type of the right amount of maturity to you to have 29-year-olds and all those guys respect you as a coach.
Sadly, I do think that the staff is going to give this guy another chance.
100%.
At least one more year. We had talked before Mike Vrabel would be awesome for the spot, but he is most likely going to be hired.
He's going to be hired. Yeah, he's going to be hired somewhere.
I wouldn't mind taking a shot on Cliff Kingsbury. Who's he the offensive coordinator of?
The Commanders.
Yes. And the only reason I say that is because he is an offensive minded.
Yeah, but we've already seen him as a head coach. And and the thing is with me with him
chances. Look at Dan Quinn.
Yeah, but the thing is with me with him a head coach, he kind of already mentioned it when he came back into offensive coordinating was, with being an offensive coordinator, he can just strictly focus on the offensive part of the game. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to be involved in the game, and he can always evolve his offensive game. And I feel like, if you did have him as head coach, the Patriots have just always been a defensive, ever since Tom Brady's left, I'd say. They've been a defensive menace.
They've been pretty defensive even with Tom Brady. That's just what Bill was. Bill was defense. I have no idea what the heck Gerard is.
No, and he has no identity. That's what the problem is, and that's why these people that we're going to be talking about in this episode, you're going to realize real quick, none of them have an identity for their coaching.
Yeah.
None of them, you couldn't tell me one thing they've done good so far.
He was there when they took Drake May. That's about the only accomplishment I can think of that he's a part of. And I don't think Elliott Wolf needs to be fired. I think Elliott Wolf's okay.
He's
right? As GM, he came in year one and did exactly what Patriots fans wanted, like we had talked about last episode, taking a chance on the positions of need. I'm really excited to see what he does in free agency because
yeah.
that's his call. So I want to see what he does there. But he's not the issue right now. The issue is this bum that is leading this team, and I don't think can coach the team. He was a great player, honestly, one of my favorite defensive players, and I hate to see him be this bad at coaching, but he, you gotta be honest, that's what the Patriots do, right? We
Yeah.
want to win games.
Yep.
Patriot way is winning football games. He's not doing it in year one, and it looks awful. You have the quarterback talent. The team's just not in sync.
Yeah. And the thing is I think you can only do so much as year
Yep.
one as a GM, right?
Yeah.
You know, you done did all your draft picks. You know, looking back at the draft, did some of your draft picks not work out this year? Maybe. But you threw them into the fire.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
he got
Like,
hired late.
yeah, and
Missed
you
free
can't,
agency
you
pretty
know, a
much.
second round draft pick in a wide receiver, he's not expected to be a wide receiver one and just
Yeah.
go out there and create separation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
But
just, I I don't know. I feel like Elliot Wolf's doing his job, but I just feel
yeah.
like Gerard Mayo, as of right now, even though your roster isn't the best, he isn't fully bought into the whole organization yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even though your roster's bad, you should still try to go out there and win
Yeah,
games.
that's what I was about to say. I mean, yeah, right now we're trying to tank, so you don't want to win. But even during the season, it just felt like Gerard Mayo never truly wanted to win.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have that backbone. He almost seems just like a soft coach, which never ends well. You see him in the
Right.
interviews during quarters. They ask about players, and it just seems like there's zero confidence in what he's trying to do, whatever that is. I don't know. I really thought with Gerard Mayo coming in, it was going to be good because Patriot Way continues. Defensive minded coach, defensive backbone, and all we have to show for the defense is that Christian Gonzalez is the top 5 corner in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's it. We have zero pass rush. If people are Patriots fans watch the Chargers game, I mean, Justin Herbert could have left, went and got a hot dog and a medium-sized Coke, come back, ate half the hot dog, then took one step forward, finished his meal, and then threw a dot to Lab McConkey because all our other secondary looked like Helen Keller trying to guard prime Julio Jones out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad.
And the thing is you forgot that he could even put, like, ketchup and mustard on it, too.
Oh, like there was nothing. Like
Yeah.
I think Keon White's good. Christian Barmore's in and out of the lineup dealing with health concerns. I think he's good. Not great, but like they'll suffice. But again, Christian Barmore's out of the lineup. Keon White's by himself.
Right.
The rest of them suck. So he's gonna get main focus. I mean, he was going up against Rashawn Slater. You
And
saw
Joe
him
Alt.
against a pretty elite left tackle, and it showed that he's not elite. He's good.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
Gerard Mayo's gone now. He
I
needs
don't
to be
know.
gone.
Yeah, and like I look down the line, I'm looking at Gerard Mayo, and I'm like, what can Gerard Mayo do to turn it around? And I'm like, there's a chance you can get offensive line. You can get T. Higgins. You can draft. It's gonna be Travis Hunter, which is whatever. We'll get into that later episodes, but. Do I have confidence that Gerard Mayo can lead this team to the Super Bowl? No. And if the answer is no that quick, then why keep him around?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like him. I don't like the Patriots right now. I would be honestly okay if Elliot Wolf looked at this team, saw Drake May, saw Christian Gonzalez, Keon White, and Christian Barmore, and sent everyone else their personal suitcase and sent that entire team packing away. They stink. They're not good. These rookie wide receivers, it was a good gamble. They suck. Get rid of them. Ramondre, go get money while we can for him. This team sucks. And like you said, it starts with the coaching. Love the quarterback play. Granted, he's a rookie. Turnovers happen. But that's the only promising thing on that offense. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. And, the interceptions playing, of course, of your wide receivers not working
Yeah.
out. So,
Can't even look for the ball.
yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yep. But moving on, Gerard Mayo's incredibly bad. That's why we put him at number 1.
Yep. Moving on. Giants.
Another incredibly bad head coach. Now, the reason why the Giants are in the hot seat is because, for one, they can't figure out a quarterback position, but that solely focuses on
Yeah.
when are we going to focus on the head coach? Like,
Yeah.
you can blame your quarterback who was performing his first 3 years,
Yeah.
but then all of a sudden,
I was going to say, the head coach wasn't there for the Daniel Jones draft.
no,
You think this might be the case of
he doesn't have a
he's not
playbook for him.
He's not my guy.
No, I just don't think that he has. If you can't develop a playbook for your quarterback as is, you're not a good offensive play caller. If you got to have a certain quarterback for your plays and you can adjust your playbook, then you shouldn't be in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it. And I feel like if he'd maybe be good in college, but the Giants got to find something. They've been historic for too long, and they've been with Eli Manning and things. They got to find a quarterback, and they got to find players that actually want to play for him.
Well, they made the playoffs once under him, right?
Who's that?
Under the Giants head coach.
Brian?
Yeah.
Uh,
I think they made it once. I think it was actually recently, within the past couple of years, but inconsistency is
no, they're
bad.
terrible.
And you're on the hot seat, so you're going to be doing whatever you can to get a quarterback. And I just don't know if you're going to be going for Shadur Sanders. I don't think Shadur is going to be a bad quarterback. I don't think he's going to be elite. I don't think this quarterback class is anything to blow away. But I don't think getting Shadur bails you out in the time that you have at New York. There are a lot of problems. Outside of Malik Neighbors, that
team
team's
stinks.
Bad. That team is really bad.
So bad.
I think you can keep Wan'Dale Robinson. I think he's a pretty good
He's
2
mid.
or in the slot. He'll suffice for a while while you try to build other things. But the line stinks.
Let me tell you something about that defense.
Defense stinks.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just think if you restart at the quarterback position, it's almost like a full restart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think with Brian being the way he is and being what I think it's his 3rd year in the coaching for the Giants, I don't think he's going to be in their future plans. I think they bring in somebody new, maybe an offensive-minded coach that actually, has some resume with a mobile quarterback. But we'll see. I think Brian's definitely on the hot seat. I think he's probably going to lose his job after this season.
Which is sad, too, because New York's a big money market, and you can't bring in squat.
No, because it's not like the Jets are any good either.
No.
Let's move on from that trash bag organization.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix them. We'll keep moving down the lines. We'll hit up next. Let's go with the Titans. My goodness, Will Levis.
And
comes from my favorite college of Kentucky. And
They're-
this guy,
they're worse than I would honestly say they're worse than the Giants.
he stinks.
They're worse than the Giants.
I mean, you go out and get Tony Pollard.
Stinks.
You go out and you say, we're going to stick with Will Levis.
And we're going to go build Calvin Ridley beside him.
And
which is a good
guy stinks.
I could have told you he stinks when he put mayo in with his coffee.
This guy. Well, there's like a 3-segment game towards the end of the season here where they're like, this might be the guy. We're going to keep this guy. I'm like, man, to be a Tennessee Titans fan, bring back CJ2K. At least you had something to watch. Well, you're missing the playoffs.
No, they need to go get PJ Walker.
This is which
PJ Walker.
I mean, we're gonna get into mock drafts soon, especially with the draft almost getting set fairly early on. This is another team that is gonna be drooling out the mouth at the Patriots' #1 pick. But the issue is, I can't think of one player on that team that is worth New England's time to go along with picks. Calvin Ridley didn't want to go to New England. He said, I'm signing with Will Goat Levis, and he can live in his grave over there as far as I care.
L'Jarius Sneed from the Chiefs.
Well, apparently he ain't doing too much.
He's hurt.
I'd be hurt too if I would play for this team. Tony
Yeah.
Pollard stinks.
But you know,
Tajay Spears
That's the
stinks.
thing. I don't even want to put Callahan in the hot spot this year. I think it's his first year, and
I don't think it's going to get better.
it's not going to get better, but it's almost like I wouldn't say it's the same situation as Mayo, because Mayo's doesn't have the locker room.
It's not the coach.
Yeah, it doesn't have the locker room.
But that's the thing is, coach windows are very small in the NFL. Sadly, whether it's your fault or not your fault, coach windows
I say 2 years for
you
most.
to get success is very small.
Yeah.
And this team,
Yeah, they're bad.
they might be worse than the Patriots. This might be. I mean, the more I'm thinking about this team, this might be the worst team in the NFL. And I don't even feel bad saying that. The Jaguars, which we're going to get into in a little bit, have Mac Jones, and I have more confidence for them to go out and win a football game.
Dude, Brian Thomas Jr. and Mac Jones are going
Brian
nuts.
Thomas could be injured, and they have Mac Jones, and I still got more confidence
Jacksonville
that
beats them
Jacksonville would beat the Tennessee Titans.
with Will Levis. I don't know about that.
You could give... No. They
I
don't even
say-
start Will Levis. He's cheeks. They got Mason Rudolph in there.
They got Future involved with him, man. He's the franchise.
I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. I don't
Ugh.
think Callahan gets
Holy
fired. I
cow.
don't think Mayo gets fired. I think we're putting these guys in the hot seat because if these guys don't put it together in the first 6 games of the next season, they're going to be gone. They're going to be fired in the middle of the season because they have nothing going for them. You know what I mean? Because you can't give them much.
Dude, Callahan might want to take a look at his options.
You might want to go to college, back to college.
I would probably take a special teams coach position.
Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee stinks.
Yeah.
Dude. There is nothing there.
No.
You can see like
Who
hope.
did they draft last year?
J.C. Latham. Round of applause, everybody. Crickets. He's not terrible, but guess what? That team sucks.
Does he play?
I'm pretty sure he's the right tackle. I mean, they got the steal right there when they said, Jawalt.
Yeah.
Heck is that guy? Taking this guy, J.C. Malik Neighbors?
I think I remember Mel Kiper saying like, "Oh man, I think they reached on this one here, guys."
Yeah. Like, Malik Neighbors? Psst. We don't need a receiver. We got Will Levis. Let's do it all Tom Brady practically.
Yeah.
This guy stinks. This guy next year is going to be serving hot dogs
Hot
at a
dogs.
hot dog stand in New York. Mark my words.
Get you free hot dog.
All right, I can't speak about Tennessee anymore. This is actually kind of making me want to puke. I mean, we already talked about it. Let's just jump into them. Mac Jones's Jacksonville Jaguars. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The franchise. Lawrence can't even see straight right now. And when he was seeing straight, that dude stunk.
Yeah, he's bad.
That dude was a hot skitty.
Poor Trevor though.
I hope the guy's okay. This guy stinks.
He got Urban Meyer as his head coach.
And can we take a second to talk about how bad this God tier quarterback draft class of Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones, and it was Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Who else was there? It wasn't Trey Lance and Mac Jones. That was a different. That was a different draft.
Mac Jones.
No, that was a different draft. Yes, yes, it was.
I don't think it was.
I could have sworn it was.
Because we traded up before you guys to get Justin Fields. You guys got Mac Jones.
I just 20. Who was it? It was 2021 draft. Let's go look at these quarterbacks.
Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones. I couldn't think of a more media pushed 5 quarterbacks that have been more stinkers than that draft.
Yeah, they've all been pretty bad, but like I said, Trevor Lawrence's career got blown out by Urban Meyer, man. I feel bad for him. He didn't even know who like Aaron Donald was.
Yeah, now he's got Doug Peterson.
He's gone. And here's the thing.
Yeah, he stinks.
If I'm any like coach that's interviewing there, I don't even want to interview with your GM. I don't care about you.
Why not bring Trevor Lawrence in?
Exactly. I want to see how Trevor Lawrence's motivation is. If he comes in there and says, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, no, you don't want to be here, do you, buddy?
Mac Jones in those all whites was kind of looking like the face of the Franny, bro.
He stinks,
He
bro.
figured out the system. He loaded up Madden.
Wait till they get 3 of those draft class quarterbacks and sign Justin Fields.
He loaded up Madden. He saw Brian Thomas was the A button. And his A button on the controller is almost broke, dude.
He does spam it.
I think there's hope, not for Doug. I think Jacksonville has hope with Brian Thomas. You got to hope you can at least get to an even record by the time he's up for contract. Because I feel like that's Jacksonville's biggest issue.
Yeah.
Is they get a glimpse of hope, and then they suck for so long that nobody wants to re-sign with them.
Right.
But like I feel like with Brian Thomas, and if Trevor Lawrence can get back to that playoff run they made, I feel like there's slight hope for them.
I think Doug Peterson's gone.
Their division sucks.
Their division is one of the weakest ones.
Like,
in
Texans were very meh.
Their division and the Buccaneers
Colts,
division.
Yeah, Colts suck. Jags suck. Who else is in there? Who am I missing? Titans. Yeah. I mean, wow. That is
a special.
And here we are as a Patriots and Bears fan looking at our divisions, trying to figure out which of the 3 that are going to the playoffs outside of us are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's a crazy world we live in.
Doug Peterson's
gone. I expect Doug Peterson to be fired. I don't know if we're going to talk about... Are we going to talk about the Cowboys?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can talk about Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy's gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think a lot of that team is going to be disbanded here.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to be in a rebuild mode after next year, and I think they'll keep Dak for one more year.
They have to. Well,
yeah.
Money.
They keep Dak for one more year. They give Ashton Jonty
the maximum contract you
can give a
guy.
And then
sign him for like 15 years.
Because here's the thing. If you can build your draft picks besides Ashton around your offensive line and build an actual decent offensive line so Dak doesn't get hurt in the first 0.1 seconds of dropping back.
Yeah, he just can't win a playoff game.
No, and I think they're decent, but their running game's so bad. Even with Tony Pollard, it was terrible.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle was on my fantasy team this year, and he is, I'll give it to him, he's the definition of average. They show up that little projection of his points, and he will hit it. He won't get any more, and he won't get any less, but he will get his average points per game.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think the Cowboys are going to fire Mike McCarthy, and I do think they'll find somebody that's already been established. I think they're biting themselves in the foot because they let Dan Quinn go.
Yeah.
You know?
No, he's cooking.
Yep, he's cooking. But I do think Yes, I do think the Cowboys are going to hire Brian Flores. I think it is destined
That
to
would be
be.
terrible.
No, and he's already proven he is one nasty defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he
Like,
is.
bro, name me one player on the Vikings defense.
Uh, well, I can think of like Denali Hunter. Is he still there? I think that's how you say his name.
Daniel Hunter?
Yeah. I mean, he's always been
I
pretty
don't think
good for
he's still
them.
there.
Harrison Smith, the GOAT
I
himself.
think he's special teams only.
Oh, dude, he's safety. Lifelong.
You turned into Devin McCourty.
He is like 95 years old.
But no,
They're good, though.
Brian
They're
Flores
rolling.
has turned that defense around with the minimum people.
That's what he does, though.
Yep, and I think he could do that with the Cowboys. He could do that with the Patriots. He could
Yeah,
do that
I would
with
like that.
a lot of these teams that we're talking about. I think Brian Flores is going to be a top head coach candidate. I think
Him
Mike
and Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel. I think Ben Johnson. I think and I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets' old head coach Robert Saleh.
Solid, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's going
he
to get.
definitely was not the issue with that
No,
Jets
I don't
team.
think he's going to get a head coaching job, but I do think he'll
Take
definitely
him back
find.
to DC.
Yep, he'll find a DC coach.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He
I think
might. There's a lot of...
there's a lot of
It's like
open
we
for
still
grabs.
got two more coaches we ain't even talked
Yeah.
about yet. Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, the Raiders coach is gone,
And
but I don't even. At the same time, I don't even know if that's his fault.
I think he's got next year.
I think he's got one more year. So we got Gerard Mayo 1 year. We got
Callahan one year.
Callahan 1 year, and then we got Antonio Pierce 1 year. I think Antonio Pierce deserves 1 year just because look at his team.
Yeah.
He's got Brock Bowers, Max Crosby.
Brock Bowers. I mean, he probably gets joy just watching. Like, he goes to watch film and just watches
Brock Bowers with a quarterback would be nasty.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be Gronk and Brady.
Yes. So I think having that cushion, and being in the top 5, they're in the top 5 area, right?
I believe so. I think they knocked themselves out of the top 10 if they win.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Yep.
Dear. I mean, you could and then try to trade with the Patriots, and we'll take Brock Bowers.
I did see though that the Jets are playing the Dolphins this week,
Yeah.
and
We're playing Buffalo.
the Dolphins Tua might be out. So if the Jets win, the Bears go.
And if the Patriots win, the Patriots go.
Yeah. No, you. I mean, if you guys get the number 1 pick, man, it's a best case scenario.
I don't even. Drake May hasn't practiced all practice because of a head injury, and we're still starting him. I mean, what are we doing? Lock it down.
Yeah.
Take Brissett out. Take him out back. Hit him in the knee with the pipe. And say, looks like we're going to start our punter. I mean, it's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
It's the least Rod could do for us.
Right.
All right. Last head coach that comes to mind with how bad the locker room is right now. Pat McAfee's been complaining. It is the Colts head coach. AFC South has something going on that is not good in the coaching department.
No, yeah, that's Shane Steichen is terrible.
Richardson is giving no effort. He doesn't care when you show up. He doesn't hold anyone accountable.
He runs an RPO offense with someone that doesn't even want to run an RPO offense.
Quarterback's tapping out.
No wide receivers.
We're sending Joe Flacco out there because of back spasms.
Yeah.
Gone.
GM.
If my head coach,
DC's terrible.
GM,
Defense is terrible.
we're in charge of this. That entire Colts staff should, one, be ashamed of themselves. Two, should never see a football field again and should be fired immediately.
They're giving their
Whole
defense is the strongest unit, and they're giving up 42 points to the
Yeah.
Giants.
And it just seems like nobody cares. No one cares. Players don't care. We got, we're doing a podcast now. Players are playing football games, getting blown out, and going and having a good time on a podcast. We're recording podcasts. There's no accountability. There's no... I heard DeForest Buckner pulled Anthony Richardson aside, and apparently has been giving him the what for, saying that he took an extension because he believed in Anthony Richardson. So outside of DeForest Buckner, that whole team is just a bunch of clowns.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree. I feel bad for Colts fans, and I also feel bad for people like Jonathan Taylor, people like DeForest Buckner, people like Michael Pittman. You
yeah,
know, people that's been there for a little while that's had to deal with the struggles of having multiple quarterbacks, and now all of a sudden everybody's saying, and your
you find your
GMs, yeah,
franchise,
your boss is saying, yeah, we found our franchise quarterback for
and
you
he doesn't
guys.
even care.
He doesn't even care about your guys' well-being, doesn't care how old you are, doesn't care about your legacy, none of that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this quarterback. I'm going to trade up in the draft. And I'm going to draft a quarterback. And I'm going to
Yeah,
go out there and I'm going to say, now, the only successful quarterbacks in the Indianapolis Colts franchises have been pocket passers. Quinn Ewers is supposed to go in the late first round, maybe for early second round. I think Quinn Ewers would be a good fit for us. I think Quinn Ewers has a good veteran presence, and I think his ability to put the ball where it needs to be would be
yeah.
perfect for the Colts industry. Because look at their offensive line.
And the thing is, he had a down year this year, but like compared to his normal stats. But you
Injuries.
look at and you look at last year's draft. He was supposed to go before he recommitted to Texas. He was like a top 10 pick.
Right. And
He Peyton Manning could be a great mentor. I would get Peyton Manning's not going to be a coach, right? That's just not what he wants to do. Why not bring him in to visit on a regular basis with the quarterback and be a mentor and give this kid an understanding of the Colts history and what it's like to be a Colt, because
right.
the Colts that we remember were not bad. Even when Peyton Manning left, Andrew Luck through all tried to keep that team afloat. And now the Colts are just one of the biggest laughing stocks
In
in
NFL right now.
chaotic locker
Yeah.
rooms. Nobody's going to want to go there.
No. And that's what sucks is that Colts fans are so passionate just because they're, it's like the only team in
Yeah.
Indiana, and it's either us or the Chicago
Yeah.
Bears.
I don't think like people get the like granted it might be a little state bias. Indiana fans are some of the most loyal fans to their own teams and some of the most diehard fans you will ever meet in your entire life.
Yeah,
Ever.
I agree.
And for them to see one of their home teams as a laughing stock shatters the hearts of Indiana.
Right.
It's just sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. I think the Colts will fire Shane this year, and I do think that, their head coach wise, I don't know what they'll
I'd
go
go
with.
get Vrabel.
Yeah.
That is, to me, backbone. Want to talk about holding people accountable?
Yeah.
Vrabel would be.
I think if you bring Vrabel in, you also got to bring in Matt Eberflus as DC again as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he was nasty as their DC.
Yeah. I just think you got to get a coach that's going to have some accountability.
Right. Yep.
So.
That's our coaches.
Yeah.
Coaches are all bums that we're talking about here. We don't know if they're going to be fired this year, but they're just in the hot seat towards the end of the season and into the next season. We probably will see a couple of them get fired.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
After this weekend. But, it's just how it goes. It's a business world, and if you're not winning, you're not going to keep your job.
Yep.
But that's it for this episode. Hopefully we covered all the coaches. I'm pretty sure we covered mostly the bad teams that kept all their coaches or ones that should be fired.
If we missed any, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I was going to say we thought about throwing 49ers coach in there, but Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of injuries happened on that team.
Right. And so, but yeah, let us know in the comments what your guys' opinions are. We look forward to the next episode. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.